Alright then, I guess I can go ahead and get started. I'm Freshmaniac, and this is Dustforce. 3, 2, 1, go. So Dustforce is a momentum-based platformer about acrobatic janitors. And now you know all of the story in the game. Right now, I am going through the tutorials. I am locked to Dustman as the first character in the list. This is showing off some of the basic movement of the game, doing lots of ground boosts and ledge cancels. Ledge cancels are this movement where I'm coming up over ledges and down dashing to reach the ground quickly, and then dashing immediately to move faster. Ground boosting is where I'm down dashing into the ground and then transferring some of my fall speed into a little more forward speed. This is combat tutorial. Not going to see a lot of the usual combat in the game, but there are 3 kinds of attacks: light, heavy, and super. This I'm charging up my super by getting more combo, and then just grabbing the wall and canceled my super. The super is an area attack, so I use that to destroy the prisms at the end of the level through the wall. Oh yeah, and as Sid mentioned, despite this being a game about cleaning, here we're looking more for speed over thoroughness in the 80% category. This is advanced tutorial, which teaches you about slope boosting. By falling into slopes and keeping dash rhythm, you can get a lot of forward speed. Hopefully I can get across this gap. Well, not quite. And that's all the tutorials. Here we exit into the main hub world. This has 4 sections, starting in Forest, doing my favorite classic cleaning activity, cleaning leaves off the ground with a broom. The levels in this game follow a couple different patterns. So every level, we're going to be completing it by getting to the end of the level and cleaning a collection of enemies that are attached to an end trigger. So in this level, it's rush to the end as fast as possible and use 1 heavy to clean up all of those leaf balls at once. While in Firefly here, we're going a little bit out of our way and taking some time to collect extra dust to get 100 combo meter so that we have a super for the end. You may have noticed by now that there are 4 characters. The first 2 characters are pretty similar. They have high fall speed, makes them very good for slope boosting, and pretty large attacks. Dustforce, the green character, has very large attacks, but he's quite slow and falls slowly. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna try to do a pretty tight boost at the start here. Didn't get it. If you keep a tight 4-dash boost at the beginning, you can keep a lot of your speed and dash right across the gap near the start. Alright, interrupted myself. The third character, Duskid, the pink child. Oh no. Has 2 air charges, which lets you dash or jump twice in the air, and has very fast attacks, but they're very small. So she generally has pretty niche strengths, but this is one of them. This level, she is pretty comparably fast in the actual level, but outside of it, she can be used to skip going around this, go up the left side to get to Night Temple. Night Temple's another gather a lot of dust and then super at the end kind of level, just with more spikes. Ancient Garden and Night Temple are both gold levels. Normally, these levels would be closed off with different locks, and you have to get the keys by accessing lower lock level doors to unlock them. Since we're playing on New Game Plus, all the doors are already unlocked, but generally the different kinds of locks correspond to difficulty. Had to focus a bit on this one. Oh no! So the goal there was to try to get into a nook, and you're just within distance to super the bear, which is the actual end of the level. You just missed that. Deerworth is used on Ascent because he has tall jumps, so he's generally good for climbing. Also making use of his big attacks to collect dust along the way. Ooh, this might be bad for the purple. Let's try it. It's got it. Here we do our first clip. So I clip out of bounds into the wall, and then use Kid's 2 jumps to just fall almost all the way down in the level to go straight to the end. I should have started explaining this earlier. I'm using the porcupine's quills. To more quickly clean up bears in that level. Normally have a lot of health, but by redirecting a quill into them, I can defeat them in one hit. In this level at the end, I'm going to be making use of enemy hits to gather extra dust. Every time an enemy hits me, I get 5 dust added to my combo meter, and getting crushed by this totem does a bunch of hits all at once. I'm finding it a little hard to get commentary in on this. This is a game with very little downtime. Really, the only breaks are in between levels during opening the door, and that only lasts about 20 frames. Or I guess loads in between the levels as well. And those are just a few seconds. On each level, I'm trying to do early exits if possible. You can actually exit the level before it's complete and let the final attack. Let the final attack land during the level fade out. So if you time the exit correctly, it'll still complete even though you're leaving. Like that. Ooh, almost exited down a little too early. Oh yeah, we're now in the mansion as of a few levels ago. The debris of choice has changed to actual dust. Oop. Get down. And the levels are generally a lot longer. This is kind of the boring part of the run. Lots of ground boosting, very long, straightforward levels. Speaking of which, here's about 20 seconds of ground boosting, if I can get one started. Oh no. Okay, this level is a little bit odd. I'm actually going up to get a checkpoint here so that I can come back down and die. What this does, by setting the checkpoint, rather than going back to the 3-2-1 dust when I die, there's a brief period where my corpse comes down and hits another checkpoint trigger while I'm dead. By doing that, I can save about 10 seconds of routing around. Sure, let me find time to do that real quick. I'm climbing up to Tower right now. Tower has kind of all of the enemies clustered right above the start. I need to... Ooh, that boost might not have been good enough. I need to catch that first one on a cycle so I can get up there like that. Ghost Parapets has a lot of spaced out platforms, so you need to carefully space out all of your boosts to cross each of these gaps. You need to jump off that platform I just dashed. Yep. Also spooky a song in the game. One of 2 levels in the game that does not have a song assigned to it. Play in silence. So further up in this level, I'm going to try for a speedier boost. Along with ground boosts and slope boosts, there also are called low boosts. By building up enough speed with a slope boost and then down dashing low to the ground, you can transfer that extra speed at a better angle. Almost got it there. Got sort of a half of the boost. Alright, I'll drop in there in just a sec. Not sure how this is going to work with isolating audio. What level am I at? Caverns. In caverns, this... What's up, Sid? In caverns, you start with falling towards where most of the level is, but we're not going to go down there. We're going to come up here, flip over the top of the level, and kind of run around on this misshapen roof instead, and then just drop in at the end.
Yeah, the territory on the top of the caverns is actually pretty interesting to navigate. The collision is not what it looks like.
Yeah, the foreground kind of covers up pretty like weird terrain. There's slants all over the place, and the angle of the floor like greatly changes how boosts work.
Here we have library. It has books. Books are jerks. They're very.
No, they're fine. They just need, you know, a little discipline.
Exactly. As long as you know where they're gonna hit, they're fine. But they can be quite punishing.
Oh no! Just a little too high on that super.
Oh boy. Oh well, Dustforce makes Quicksworth.
Quicksworth.
Quickworth. Nice slip of the tongue there. But yeah, hello everybody. I'm a retired janitor. Once upon a time, it used to poorly clean this game as well. This particular stage has a lot of just ground boosting, trying to get as much as you can. Which is what Dustforce is really good for, since he has a higher jump, he can also get slightly better ground boosts. So he is usually the character of choice, and a lot of them is as a result. But yay, City!
Yes. We're now in City. I think this is one of the harder hubs in the run. Levels are pretty short, but they're also quite technical. And there are chances for things to go wrong, especially in the next level. This is Park, this is all pretty normal boosting. But in Landfill, we'll be using Kid to clip out of bounds in a very particular way. There is a dust block wall at the bottom, at the end of this boost, and we cut out. Ooh, this is still recoverable. We cut out just the top of one slanted block, so that we can take advantage of the lack of collision on the top of it and clip out of bounds. And then using Kid's 2 air charges and spamming lights to catch some dust blocks through the wall at the end. She can just make it out over there blind.
There's also some pretty nice short stages over here. You just kind of go through them, just blink and you miss it. Nice. Apartments is also quite nice. You can just kind of skip to the end of the stage, skipping a lot of dust in the process.
Mhm.
And we have an independent car park, which is once again a lot of just kind of vertical movement and ground boosting. But it's also not too long. Once again,
Here we just kind of
warehouse.
shimmy up the wall,
Yeah,
make use of some big jumps.
basically the main thing we have to get over is just one giant wall to get to the enemies at the end. And then a lot of fight. Scaffolding can be pretty scary considering how little flooring you sometimes have to work with. The freshmaniac should be no problem. You do have to make sure that dust blocks you don't fall from too far or you fall straight through them. And,
Missed the fast boost there. Oh, really? He's trying to take the safe way there.
And that's definitely a theme you'll be seeing. The further you get into this game, the less ground there will be. But
Yes,
that's
and
what's
much more
nice.
spikes.
Oh, much more spikes. That's for sure. Right, so this is Rooftops, and well, funnily enough, despite the fact that we're already going over rooftops, we also spend most of the stage just kind of going over the top rather than through the stage.
Ooh. Not sure what the cycles are going to be like here. Managed to get that before the big trash golem spat at me.
Yeah.
This is one
Yeah,
of a
it's
few levels with no checkpoints in it, so if I die, I have to restart it, like this.
Yeah, this is one of those stages where as a casual, like so far, even if you haven't been getting good ranks, you will have at least been able to complete a bunch of stuff. This one is hard to even just complete. So few so little flooring and just no checkpoints.
Oop.
Concrete temple is a little bit tricky to get to. That's that. And every little zone has one of these temples, essentially. Before it was Night Temple, and Mansion
There's-
Moon Temple.
There's kind of a lot of weird stuff that happens at the beginning of Concrete. I jump through a gap next to spikes that doesn't seem like it should work. I climb up the side of spikes that seem like they should kill me. The first one was a half Terra. There's actually... spikes aren't as big as they look. It really only kills you if you touch the surface that they're on. It's more like a surface modifier than anything with an actual hitbox. So there is a decent amount of space to get through there without dying. Also, every character just doesn't have collision on the bottom left of the character, so I can use that to my advantage to climb up a little of the spikes. Or not doesn't have collision, but they don't have like a death box, whatever you call it, hurt box. This tire, I'm just gonna redo this to take care of this tire.
Yeah, once the cycles are off in this stage, you can't be completely the tires go all over the place, and then some trash cans. But the fortunate
Rough
thing is, if
alleyway.
you get hit enough, you get a super, so eventually you'll be able to recover.
Here we have Hideout. This is probably one of the hardest levels before you hit the difficults. If not, some people consider it harder than some of the difficults. Lots of spikes, very small platforms.
Yeah, I think this one took me longer than the Kilo difficult, at least. It's pretty lengthy. But I don't know, I've really grown to like it. And then when you finally get to the end and you have these two golems, and you lose your combo anyway.
Ooh.
Almost done with basement right here, or with city. Just got a replacement, and from there is big. Good shot.
Yeah, these are actually 2 of the silver key levels, but left behind from earlier. A little creative routing to do city a little bit faster. Oh,
Tunnel.
just grabbing a little extra dust on the fall down here. Nothing to see here.
Skipping a little section right there by doing some nice jumps.
Cutting out holes in these dust blocks so I can move through them faster.
And then you have just enough to get us over at the end. It's very nice. And now it's on.
Now we're in lab. We're cleaning up slime from some botched experiments.
There are some pretty tricky levels in lab as well. It's like you can technically go here pretty early, but it's, it is one of those zones where the stages in general are hard. Of course, not the. It still depends on key level, so these ones are not really as difficult. And
Missed the bucket narrowly.
yeah, I thought you were gonna get hit by that. This particular stage is really good for when you get your few for stages.
Oh, just missed.
Ooh.
Thought I might miss that one.
Fluid on the stages that got added in with the X update. It's the nice thing about any percent Lugan Plus is that you can actually do stages in a lot of different order than you would otherwise do. Which already have. And of course the fact that you don't have to get all of the dust, which will also allow you to skip quite a lot of parts of the previous thing. And then it's not
See
so
if I
much a
can
skip,
get the
it's
2
just
heavy.
you don't have to
Not
do
quite.
almost. Right.
See if I can get
Ready?
security boost. Nice.
That is a very nice boost.
So normally ground boosts are kind of the way boosts in general work in this game is depending on the angle you hit the ground, you'll get different speed multipliers that take your total speed, so it's like vertical and horizontal, and transfer it to horizontal speed. And for ground boosts, the angle means that there's essentially a height limit on where you can get ground boost from, or otherwise it'll just kill your speed. But by increasing your horizontal speed, you can get ground boost from much higher than normal. That's what was going on there.
So many little intricate things in this game's movement.
They were just
By
making
jumping on
use.
walls, yes, right?
Yeah, there is a little terrain off screen that we can use to skip a lot of the early section of this level.
And you specifically is using the wall jumps in combination with there just being a slanted ceiling next to it, which just gives you a nice little boost to boost the speed along with it.
And wiring most of the dust in the level is at the bottom of that fall. And you loop around through this big winding maze. But we can just go up here through some spiky ventilation and drop in on the end.
Nice little death path. Here's another pretty notorious level. This is backup shift.
Yeah, fun fact, this level actually made me rage quit the game the first time around.
Ooh.
It's one of the gold levels, and you can approach the levels in kind of any order you want as long as you have the keys. And I went through lab kind of collecting one key after another and played this as something like my 5th level in the hub.
Ooh.
And I was not ready for that.
Yeah, no. Nice little set of spike jumps there, just narrowly making it through the path. This one fortunately does have checkpoints, but to get like an S rank on the not losing your combo through it.
Let's try that again. I need to hit that bucket. There we go.
Levels are always very dependent on cycles.
This one is a very specific sequence of attacks and getting hit to get just enough dust right here to clean up all the rest.
Kind of baiting the attacks from the golems in order to get just enough damage. It's hard to get enough hits from them as well. It's going to be doing the same thing here, getting hit by the golem to build up.
I'm actually not sure if I collected dust with that heavy. I didn't. Okay. Well, I'm just going to have to go back and collect a little more. This is the most blatant one where you're just kind of farming. And then I use the super here to get the end through the wall.
If you do it optimally, it's slightly faster than going through search.
Yeah. That one was not. Oh, I don't want to worth here. This is a notorious stage because it has checkpoints, but they're not really useful to you when you're trying to assess the level, because if you fall to the bottom, you can't die anywhere. But my goal is to fall to the bottom, so I just pass through all of these spikes.
It is a pretty silly looking level in any percent, just bypassing everything, falling straight down. I love it. Another gold level here. Got the one. This one is gonna make a lot of use of spike jumps.
I don't know if I ever explained spike jumps. So, sloped floors, you can slide down them, and then jumps while in slope slide are instant instead of having the normal jump startup. And the same thing happens if you hold down, which is what normally does a slide, and hold jump for a 45-degree spiked surface. And the jump will happen instantly before it registers that you're on spikes. So anytime there are 45-degree spikes, I can use that to my advantage.
And these blobs at the end, they can be a little bit deceptive with how they act. They're designed to just hit you straight back into the face. But if you do your actions just right, you can help. Here's the Temple of Lab, or Temple. The end of the stage just has a pretty cool strat as well.
I'm gonna try for a spike jump here. Oh, not that. Got it. So that's a little bit faster than dropping down to hit the blobs and going underneath to get the bare ceiling. Get a spike jump there.
It's gonna actually go just about out of bounds here, and then fortunately you can actually split into that collision with its angle. Bunch of nice tight spike jumps to that final spike corridor to get to the end.
And that covers all the levels in the main nexus. Now going up to the final levels in the game, the difficulties. Behind these ominous doors.
They're supposed to be locked with red keys, but of course, Fresh has already done that.
Yeah, the red keys are normally unlocked by getting a double S rank on each of the gold key levels. So this is kind of your reward for being good at the rest of the game.
And then as a reward, you get punishment.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of these are going to look very silly in any percent. At the very least, you can skip a bit, and in a lot of cases, you can skip a lot.
Well,
these ones, he's already disregarding a lot of the levels territory.
Just weave between the spikes there.
Notorious various Giga walls at the end.
This is PETA. This level is technically possible to do without spike jumps. I don't know many people who have.
Maybe on my first time, maybe.
I definitely did the first time. Mega, the end is just right there. In Terra, we can fit nicely into this tiny little gap between the spikes. Just 3 pixels of space we can fall through.
Right down. Nice little Terra drop, that's what we call it. Then Exa also this.
Yep. Straight to the end.
And here you really get the final test of how good are you at slope boosting and how good are you at extending your slope boost on while you're on there. And technically, if you want to get all of the dust, you just need to get a really good slope boost. But in any percent, if you need a little bit of extra distance, you do have a technique to just kind of get a little bit. So go over these with some nice spike jumps.
Gonna take the walk of shame.
Oh boy.
And here is Yada, the final level. Right at the start, we jump over the beginning to catch this. Jump over a spike wall at the beginning to catch a checkpoint through the wall. Here we spike jump over most of this.
Yeah, Yada is going to look very far from intended.
Yes.
Section coming up, we are going to once again have another Terra jump. Or a Terra drop, rather, to the spikes.
This one's a bit harder. There's no real setup for this. There are ways to make it easier. Here we're going underneath to clip through and go around this. And we go over the level once again to fall blind on to the next check.
If you do it right, you can actually try to fall directly into that slow boost, but it's
not really
it's
run
scary.
viable.
Exactly.
Oh wait, I can't not have the music.
Ooh. Gotta activate the music. Yeah, only the end of the other it's not the same bad.
And that's time.
GG. Nice run.
Thank you. 16 deaths, 4 retries. Pretty good. I'm gonna donate $2 for each death, so it'll be a nice $32.
Nice. Thank you very much. And thanks for letting me hop in here and say words.
Yeah, thanks for the help. There really is not a lot of downtime at all in this game, so any assistance in that is very helpful.
I have tried solo commentating this in the past when I ran it. It's harsh. It's very harsh.
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, let's see. Is there anything to show on? Do I have time? What could I show? Okay. One of the things that we skipped in Yada actually went right by it. There is a hidden character in Dustforce. Let me get back there real quick.
Dustforce is absolutely full of secrets. Even if it's just secret apples that are just kind of there.
Wow, this is so much better than in the run.
This is smooth.
Hey, what's up, Gordon?
There he is. There he is.
Always silent, always waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could show Kirby? I'd have to restart the game to do that. Is that okay? I should probably disable my background if I'm going to do that. He does talk to you in Infinity. He is also in Core Temple. I'm actually not sure how to reach him there, but I can combined use that to show off Kirby.
Kirby Kid.
This is one of the skins that people in the community have made.
I have not seen this.
There's a skin for Dust Kid made by Shuriken. It's based on the, I think, the Kirby Superstar sprites. And it is very, very nice. Oh wait, it didn't load.
I am ready.
Well, I'll see if I can get to Gordon. Oh! No! I made it to him.
There he is.
Not sure why that didn't load. Oh, I must not have hit enter. that would help. Let's try that again.
I am excited to see this. I love Kirby. Oh my goodness. I love that. It is Kirby. It is a Kirby skin. Bless you, Shuriken.
Yeah, thank you, Shuriken. This skin is amazing. My favorite part is momentarily turning into Rock Kirby when you hit the ground hard.
Alright, well that's perfect. Looks like we have Kirby and amazing music.
I don't know if I have anything else to show off. Do I need to fill time anymore?
I think Swordsman Kirby's ready, so.
Alright. Well, hope everybody enjoyed the run. Be sure to donate if you want to support the arcade business. Thank you.